So, should you quit your job? I believe this is a question that we all battle with or will have to face at one point or another in our careers. I believe it's a question that is a lot more common nowadays because of our evolution. We see all the opportunities that are around us with the advancement of technology, with the way we do business, with the way even just our careers have changed ever since we were hit with 2020. So we can no longer just stay in one position and continue to do the same job over and over and over again. So, because it's not a secret anymore that there's always something better that you can do. Now, I don't think people realize how difficult it really is to answer this question because I think it kind of gets generalized or dumbed down just because it's thrown around the internet so much nowadays. Quit your job and chase your passion, or this is what will happen if you stay at your job or what have you. And like I said, it's a little bit deeper than what I believe we consider will be like the consequences or what will happen. What would happen? Like my biggest question is, what would happen if everyone in the world would drop their labor buckets and just quit their jobs and stop showing up for the plant? Or what if all of our trash guys would quit at the same time? Like who would be taking care of these essential tasks or what have you? And my best approach to this has been that, of course, everyone's situation is completely different. There's some people that never even have to work a mundane or repetitive job because of maybe the opportunities, decisions they made early on in life, or maybe the era they were born in. Me personally, sometimes I'm like, man, I should be way beyond where I'm at with some of the endeavors I want to do behind content creation, behind some of the online branding or what have you, outside of like the investments I like to make outside of the online world. But there was opportunities that are here now that were not available when I was in my 20s. So for anybody who thinks they're behind for whatever reason because they're not a millionaire at 21 or what have you, is that let's be real. For a lot of people, that was just not a possibility to in certain eras and in a certain point in time. But bringing it back to today's day, my best approach anytime you're asking yourself the question of should you quit your job, when can I quit my job, think of any job as kind of going through a season. Because I heard an example the other day that somebody had said they had been driving a forklift for 20 years. Now, does it take 20 years to master driving a forklift? I don't think so. I think I had it down within a year, and I have had my forklift days in the past. And once I did it for 2 years, I mean, I felt like an expert. I could handle those forks up and down with my fingertips, and I would be able to load and unload a truck like under 30 minutes. Depending on what the load was. But basically, this example that I heard is that many times that's where we end up getting stuck. Is that we end up doing the same thing for a large amount of time, and credit to those who honor driving a forklift. If that is what you want to do in life, more power to you. But I believe that's where, as human beings, we get that urge and that sense of like, man, I know there's more to life than just driving a forklift. And like I said, these are tough questions, or this question of should I quit my job, should I change my job. They're difficult questions that we really have to look in the mirror and approach. Like I said in the beginning, it's a question that we all have to ultimately face. Now, for me, I've faced that question a couple of times when I shifted career opportunities. Now, I still personally have a job, but I have acknowledged that I need to make a change. So I've acknowledged that if I don't do, if I don't take certain actions towards making that change on a daily basis, weekly basis, whenever I can squeeze some amount of time to change my future, I'm going to be that forklift driver for 20 years, or I'm going to be that office executive for 20 years. I'll use both examples because there's no shame in a certain type of career, but that's exactly why I said to look at this as a season, because you don't have to be there forever. And then if you do ask yourself the question of man, well, who's gonna pick up the trash when I don't, or who's gonna sign the paychecks if you're an executive or what have you. I personally look at this approach as opening up an opportunity for a new generation. Now, this is going to sound a little bit woo woo or whatever, but take more of an abundance approach. Take an approach that there is so much opportunity out there, which there is. There is a lot of opportunity out there, but you have to be able to expose yourself to these opportunities. But if you make absolutely no change or do not take any actions towards the future you want to create, then the default is automatically what you're showing up to do every day. I think there's a saying that says you become what you do on a daily basis. And don't get me wrong, I know this is very, very difficult. And that's why I say is that, we hear this question a lot. We see it posted. I've personally binged on a bunch of videos of when to quit my job, should I quit my job, the right time to quit your job. And there's so much out there, but you really, really need to kind of take a pause and kind of zoom out on your life and just kind of look at the daily habits, the daily actions that are leading to the result that you're getting, because it's not rocket science. It's anything anything that we have in this world, whether we were conscious of it or not, has been created by our own actions. And I've used these examples in some of my other videos. These actions or habits that create the future, the career you want to create, can also apply to your health. They can apply to your relationships. They can apply to your spirituality. So that's why I really wanted to share, like I said, my approach of looking at it as a season. Just if you're, because that's been my biggest question, or my biggest battle, is that, man, if everyone quits their job, who's gonna do the essentials? And it's like, no, it's like, let's say for example, everyone had to be a trash man in their lifetime, which no offense to anyone out there, because I've been a trash man myself. I've done janitorial service in my teenage years, even up to my early 20s. So ain't no shame in the game. You gotta you gotta do what you gotta do. So, but let's say everyone had to do janitorial service for a season in their life. They don't have to be there forever. You do not. You have a choice. You can do it for a year, 2 years, while you find that next opportunity. And that's why these particular jobs are so high turnover. It's the same thing in fast food. you're not supposed to be there for the rest of your life. But if you don't make a choice to proactively make a change, then you will be there the rest of your life. And that's really the part that you have to slow down and look at. But like I said, anytime you're faced with this question, is should I quit my job, or when should I quit my job? Ultimately, that's going to come down to your own personal situation. Really sit down and look at all of the things that you probably already know to consider. What's your current situation with debt? What's your current situation with savings? Do you have 6 months worth of savings? A year? How are you going to survive when you make that transition? But I believe that, if you do the right planning and the right exit strategy, you can ultimately start making that change in the direction that you want to go. So, just some deep, honest insights here, guys. Don't pressure yourself too much with when you should quit your job. Should you even quit your job? I still personally actively work a career, a job, but I am in a super, super grateful position. I think I've shared it in some of my other videos where I talk a little bit about money and savings and investing. So I invite you to binge a bit on those, see if you can take some value. Everybody's plan is completely different. I'm gonna go ahead and be vulnerable again here. I shared it in one of my money videos. It's like I'm personally in a position where can thankfully save my entire check. So I know everybody's position is different, and it's nothing that I'm bragging about, because I know how much need there is in the world, and how much issues we're going through. But everybody's goals are different, and the income that I make is nowhere near the amount of money that some of these investors or people, business people that are out there are making. So I have no shame whatsoever in the goals that I want to achieve, in the family or generational wealth that I want to build. I want to make sure my family is taken care of. So take no shame in the goals that you want to achieve. Always approach it from an angle of value and abundance. There's opportunity for all of us. And like I said, everybody's goal is different. If I wanted to, I could say, hey, I'll ride this out until I retire. But I'm a little crazy. You might be a little crazy yourself. I take the laugh at me if you want, but I love taking the Andrew Tate approach. Love him or hate him. But if you want 5 or 10 supercars, man, it's gonna take you 10 years to just save for your first supercar, and then you probably won't even make enough to maintain it. So that's why I have to personally, because of my goals, I have to personally push myself in endeavors and opportunities that are going to offer me that higher income skill set, or that higher income opportunity where there is no cap, and just the earning potential is pretty much unlimited. All right, guys. Well, I'll go ahead and cut the video there. I can go all day with these type of talks. I love talking about money, philosophy, just overall mindset. So please, if you enjoy the video, feel free to share, like, or subscribe. If you want more videos like these, let me know in the comments. But other than that, we'll see you on the next one.